Well, it's Thursday at the range, and since my friend CWLongshot's been showing some 380 shooting, I thought I should join the party. I don't have a LCP MAX, but I do have a Glock 42. So I decided that it would work pretty well for the purposes. It's clear now. Got plenty of magazines, so I can just set this to the side here. Set that one to the side too, just so I don't accidentally run that one. And we can start loading some up in here. This is a load that I shoot a fair amount in this. It's a 100 grain extreme. It's a copper plated bullet. Kind of a nice round nose on it, a little bit of a flat point on the front. And I'm running 3.8 grains of CFE pistol, which is .30 on a Lee. I believe it was the auto disc that I used on it this time. And I chronoed these at some point in time, but I don't remember what the speed was. They're seated to about a .960 length. And actually I loaded these on a Loadmaster, so they were done progressively. So yeah, it says it was loaded on my number 3 Loadmaster. Had a powder through expanding die, a lockout die for the powder check, a bullet feed die, and then a seat and factory crimp. So they were pre-primed ahead of time with a Winchester small pistol primer and neck expanded with a Lyman M die. So I did 2 separate runs when I loaded this ammo. So once again, the final loading was on my number 3 Loadmaster with a Lee powder through expanding die and an auto disc powder measure. And then it had a RCBS lockout die for the safety purposes of checking the powder charge. And then it had a 3D printed bullet. Was it 3D printed? I don't remember if it was a 3D printed bullet feed or if it was a, actually I think it might be an RCBS bullet feeder. I bought a handful of the RCBS bullet feeders when Palmetto State Armory was having one of their RCBS blowout sales. So it very well, I think it was a RCBS lockout die, or excuse me, feed die, which is real similar to the ones that you see that are the 3D printed ones, but it uses plastic fingers that look a lot like a wad guide on a shot shell press rather than the ball bearings. But I keep a fair amount of these 380 practice rounds ready to go. This batch is starting to run out, but and I got some here that were in some other brass that needed to be used up. Actually, these were pulled bullets that I had gotten a discount somewhere, so I can run those too today. Get rid of them. Okay, well there we go. So I got 4 mags worth. I'll start out on the steel plate just to have a little bit of practice beforehand, and then I'll shoot a couple targets here. I brought the 50-foot slow fire pistol targets. I'm not at 50 feet. This is, I believe that this is 10 yards. So 30 feet. I think this is the 10 yard. There's markers on the ground and there's one there and one there. I think that one's 7 yards and I think this one's 10 yards. So we're not quite as far away. I do have a target camera downrange, but it is pointed at the paper target. So I'll go down there and I'll point it at the gong, and then I'll shoot the first magazine at the gong just to get warmed up. Well, okay, I got the target camera pointed over at the gong, so we should be all set there. I've got it off to the side just a little bit to hopefully avoid any splatter that we might get. Let's put some ears on. Okay, that's not too bad. Okay, I think those ran just fine. I'll go down and change the target over to the paper target and we'll shoot that. Okay, I think we're ready. I'll go ahead and fill this magazine back up again in case I want to shoot all 4 of them. I should have put those other Let's put these pulled bullets in this one. Get these used up. They were some that I bought discount, and you can see they've got some previous crimp marks in them and whatnot. They'll be fine for plinking with. I'll load this mag up with these, and I'll after I get done shooting some of these other magazines, I'll use these up, maybe shoot them at the gong again. Those always seem like they should hold more than they do. Okay, so let's see, here's my spot there. Let's get a couple magazines. We'll start out with just one magazine and see how I print, and then go from there. Oh, that was well low. Looks like I need to cover that bullseye with this load. Okay, I didn't like that. I don't know what happened with that one round. I just didn't have to look at the film to see what happened. Looks like it maybe didn't eject. I do find that if I don't hold this real tight, sometimes it'll run a little weird. It seems to be one of those things where you've got to not limp wrist it. I'll try to hold it a little tighter, and I'll try to hold it a little higher. I think part of my problem is I was trying to see the bullet hit. Okay, that's a little more like it. I'm up in the black there. You know, that first magazine, I was watching the bullets more than I was watching the sights. I think that's part of my problem. Was you can see those last few were stacking in there a little better. I'll try to be more disciplined like that again. I don't think I'm going to shoot this thing as good as CWLongshot shoots his. Okay, now let's see if these do any different. They shouldn't. They're the same load. Don't want to move the camera. I'll go ahead and shoot these at the paper too. No, I'll shoot them at the gong. You can hear them. You won't see them, but you'll hear them. Hopefully you'll hear them, because if you don't hear them, I'm missing. Why do I shoot better at the gong? The gong has the little center section that's a little flapper, and I didn't have any problem hitting it. I think I hit it on most of those times right in the little flapper. Here's two more of these. Let's go ahead and use them up. Okay. Well, yeah, that's good, clean fun. Let's go ahead and look at that target down there. Looks like that second magazine I shot pretty good, right on the left side of the bullseye there. Yeah, so I did have some decent shots here out of that second magazine. But the first magazine, when I was trying to watch the target where they were hitting before I was done shooting, that didn't work at all. So spotting the target was not a good idea. I kind of did better on that group of shots, but then on the third magazine, I kind of opened up again. So let's put another target up, and I'll see if I can't shoot a little better. Well, okay, I brought this target back. I like these shots. These ones down here, not so much. To say I was spotting the target rather than looking at the sights. So we'll go ahead and run some more. Off camera, I loaded up 4 magazines here. We'll run a few and see how it looks. I'll try to take my time and print a little bit better target if I can. Can always use more practice, that's for sure. It is an enjoyable little gun to shoot. That was way to the left. I thought that was a better shot than that. Let's try not pushing it out so far and holding it a little more steady. Oop, I am jiggly. Down there. It does tend to be shooting low with this. I'm covering the black pretty much. That's right in the same spot. Okay, well that's where it's tending to shoot. I'm not going to change anything. I'm going to keep the hold the same. Yeah, that first one, I think I was just wobbly. That's 5. I think part of it is in the sun. I'm not doing a good job lining up the top of the front sight with the top of the back sight. I think that's why my elevation is varying. Need more discipline on the sights. Made the same mistake on that one apparently. Well, they do tend to all be in a kind of similar area there. Need more discipline. That one landed right on the bill of my hat. Ah, here's a stovepipe for you. And we'll go ahead and... Okay, so now that's going to try to pick up the next one. I may not have been holding that tight enough. I think part of why I tend to have that front sight up is if you've really got the top, in this sunlight anyway, if you have the top of the front sight aligned with the top of the rear sight, you're cutting off just a tiny bit of the white dot on the front sight, at least for my eyes. Let's go ahead and put this guy back in there. Okay, one more magazine. There's a few of them up there in the black. I've been trying to creep the hold up just a little bit. Actually, my hold is about the same. I'm just trying to do a better job of aligning the top of the front sight with the top of the rear sight. Like I said, when you do that and get it right up there where it belongs, it chops off just a little bit of the bottom of the front dot. It almost would maybe be better if it didn't have the front dot. Oh, it was empty, it didn't hold back. Maybe those need to be just a little bit stouter. Yep. So I've had this a while. It's fun. I like bringing it to the range. I've just been running more or less target loads out of it, if you will, pretty light. 3.8 of CFE pistol, like I said earlier. And that may not be quite as stiff as it ought to be. I did have a couple of things that went wrong in those 6 magazines. I had the one that stovepiped. That one at the end, it didn't hold the slide back. And that one early on, I think it was in the first magazine, I had the one that it had a, I think it might have been a failure to eject, or maybe it just didn't come back enough to pick up the next round. I'm not real sure. So maybe I'll come up a little bit on the powder charge. I think I chronoed these, but I don't really remember. But we'll go ahead and take the ears off. Nice day today, man. It's just really blue sky. Nice here at the pistol range. I haven't done a video at the pistol range in quite a while. But I thought I'd get out and shoot the 380 a little bit. I didn't expect to shoot it as good as CWLongshot. He's the 380 authority and the LCP MAX authority. So take a look at CWLongshot's channel, watch him shooting that LCP MAX, and I think he may have had an LCP 2 on there as well. I don't know, I'll have to go back and check it again, but he was shooting these little tiny groups with the 380, and he's a much larger guy than me and bigger hands. I mean, you know, my hands fit on this thing pretty good, you know, I can get a pretty good purchase on it because I'm small. This, you know, CW, his hand was, he was covering just about the whole frame of the pistol up. But yeah, I enjoy shooting the little Glock. It's fun. It's good to practice with it, and having fun at the range, getting out, getting some fresh air. And boy, it's just beautiful out. It's in the 70s. The weather changed a lot the last couple of days, so it's been real pleasant. And I hear some airplanes flying, and I might go fly a little bit after I leave here. I'm not sure. It's coming up on about 6:30, I think, so the evening's starting to wind down. But I might go home and catch a sports game on TV or something, or I might go fly the plane. But I hear somebody out there flying. Okay, well, thanks everybody for watching. I jumped in on the 380 party. I suppose we should go down and look at that target. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay, here's the target, and I'm tending to be down here, and I think that's because I'm not keeping that front sight, the top of it aligned exactly with the top, you know, the top of the front sight. I'm not keeping it aligned with the top of the rear sight. When I do, it hits up here. So when it's not in the right spot, you know, it's kind of going to do something different. So, you know, it's funny because I'm tending to hold it where the blade in the front is up a little bit, which would be a high point of impact, but I must be, when I hold it that way, I must be seeing something different, because when I put it down, which should make the shot go lower, which it isn't, it's making the shot go up, I must be bringing the gun up into a different point of aim after I, you know, because I'm like this, and then when I bring it down in level, I'm bringing it up and lining up. So it's kind of a two-phase thing. It's not just what I'm seeing, it's as I fix it, you know, if you bring it like this and then bring it up. So, but I did get, I don't know if there's two there or not, it might be, but it might just be one. But, you know, it looks like I'm tending to shoot there with where I'm pointing and shooting in this light anyway. So we'll practice with it some more and see what we can do. And here's the gong I was talking about. It's got this little flipper flapper. So it looks like, you know, if you see, there's like 2 or 3 there that are pretty fresh that I think I just hit. And it looks like I was, on the gong, I was up here. It's, you know, quite a few of my hits up this way a little bit. It's amazing how different targets change, you know, the sight picture and the point of impact and whatnot. But like I say, it's just beautiful out here. The pistol range is kind of where the truck is sitting there. It's my son's truck on the other side of the little building there. That's the path that goes down to the rifle range. And if we want to shoot a long ways, we can come back over this way and shoot longer, but we can't do it if people are using the pistol range. We have to work it out and share the space and all that. I guess I could go ahead and turn the target camera off here. It doesn't need to be recording anymore. Let's see here. There, now it's not recording. Now it's off. So much stuff to do when you're taking videos at the range. Go back here and show you the brass pile. Oh, there's a shadow. But yeah, the brass is all kind of I was standing right about by the corner of that table, and it's spitting most of the brass right in this area, so I'll get that picked up and collected so I can take them home and clean them up and shoot them again. But yeah, it's really nice out. So the lake's just on the other side of that row of bushes over there and all that. So really nice day here at the range. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks to CWLongshot for showing us those 380 videos. He's the 380 authority and the LCP MAX authority. Thanks everybody for watching. The most fun part of shooting autoloaders at the range. This is the part that I enjoy the most. You get to wrap up every day at the range doing this. It's just so enjoyable. You get to spend time down here on the ground and make yourself one with the earth. Share some time with the bugs, the bees, the ants, anything that's down here, the plants. You see all the little rocks. You learn a lot about geology when you're picking up the brass. Around this area, a lot of this is glacial till. It, you know, the glaciers, when they melted, deposited all this stuff. And just to the south of here is what I've been told by my geology teacher in high school was the largest esker in the world, which is a glacial till deposit from when the glaciers melted and the water was running underneath and carving tunnels under the ice. All of this dirt, this nice gravel that they, along that big esker there's a landfill now, and they take the gravel out and use it for all kinds of construction projects, and they fill it up with waste. It's kind of a shame, because pretty soon it's going to be the world's largest dump instead of the world's largest esker. But good old Michigan landscape carved by glaciers in the Ice Age. And I wouldn't even have time to talk about it, except for I'm enjoying this quality time with my audience picking up brass at the range. I think, oh, there's one that almost got away. I've tried leaving them and brushing dirt over them to see if they'll grow, because I've always thought it'd be neat if I could plant a brass bush, and then I'd have all kinds of brass. I'd just have to come out and harvest it. But I suppose harvesting brass off of a brass plant would be about the same as picking up the brass after you shoot, so there'd really be no gain. So I guess if I was going to plant brass, I wouldn't plant it at the range. I'd plant it at home, so I didn't have to spend my time at the range picking up brass. I better go take that target down too.